Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more Urban Empire in Pravsburg. It is now Friday, which means I've had an opportunity to read through some of the comments and suggestions as far as how to fix up the residential demand. And some of the suggestions were helpful and some of them were not. Kind of depends a lot on how people present it, but there are a couple of common themes that I want to address and kind of talk through my thought process and kind of what I've observed as I've been trying to fix this stuff up in my own time. So, the common theme that people were asking for is, freaking heck, build some commercial, right? Rezone, get more commercial, okay? The other theme was, get more high density. Every district should be high density by now. Well, the second one I'll go ahead and address first because it's the easiest. No, I don't think everything should be high density. First off, I've already upgraded Smithmere to high density, and I have yet to get a single high density building in here despite having very high commercial demand. So it's not necessarily true. Industrial, perhaps. Industrial, I could justify making more high density stuff. And for the most part, it might even be profitable. I mean, if we look at Darlington right now, we are still turning a profit in the district. Probably not as much of a profit as it was before. Keeping in mind that every time I upgrade to a high-density district, I am greatly increasing running costs. I mean, by like 200,000 thalers. I can only afford to upgrade 2 more, and then I have a deficit. So no, I don't think that I should have every single district at high density right now, and not until I have a heck of a lot more demand in residential. Then I think I should, but not until then. As far as the commercial density rezoning, this one I think that there is some plausibility for. I've done a little testing, and I don't think it's as effective as you might think. It doesn't seem to solve the problem, but it doesn't seem to hurt the problem necessarily either. So here's been the reason I haven't taken advantage of this commercial district stuff, right? The commercial demand. Because I'm not sure how much to trust this RCI. I'm really not. It seems to recalculate every time I reload the game. And in most city builders, yes, if there's this much demand, yeah, it means definitely zone some more stuff out. But there's a lot of prevailing theories in the Urban Empire community, on Reddit, in the Steam forums, that RCI is only partially tied to the actual demand and possibility of growth, and partially tied into the performance of that respective industry. So industrial demand may be really high, but that may be more of an indicator that the industrial demand sector is performing really well. And just because you zone more out doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to grow more businesses. I don't know. We don't know. That's the problem. The RCI and how it's calculated is not especially obvious. So since I'm not sure how to trust this, here's been my thought process, and I could be wrong, but this has been my thought process. In the past, I've been looking at our unemployment very keenly. Now, very recently, we now have some unemployment for the middle class and for the elites. Okay? That's good to know. But for the most part, for the last few videos, we've been around 0% across the board. Less than 1% almost at any given time. And what that has told me, logically, is that there are probably more jobs in the city than there are workers, right? So therefore, building out more businesses that have not enough people to fill those jobs doesn't necessarily solve the problem. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But I've been thinking that might exacerbate the issue a little bit as far as the supply and demand is concerned. If we already have not enough supply of labor to meet the demand of the jobs, then why get more jobs and, as we rezone and have to get rid of a lot of these residential stuff, lower the supply? That just makes a bad problem worse. That's been my thought process. Now, there is an economic argument where I am wrong, and I've been thinking about this for a bit, and it's very possible that by focusing a lot more on commercial will solve our problem. Maybe. Here's the logic. The demand is incredibly high, there's not enough workers to go around, so businesses have to start paying their workers more competitive wages in order to get more of their share of the labor. And as a result, because wages are so high, neighboring cities, countries, whatever, start looking at that and saying, wow, really high wages in Pravsburg, let's go move there, and then we get some residential demand. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure on that front. So I don't know. I mean, it would seem to me that just because, I mean, a good healthy unemployment would probably be somewhere around 3% across the board. That's considered healthy unemployment for a lot of real world countries, but that just means that there are too many people. I don't know how getting more businesses necessarily solves the problem unless it is also tied to wages, but if so, the game doesn't tell you that. And that's sort of where I'm trying to figure this out, and I'm sort of struggling to make some sense of it. And now, of course, our residential demand is recalculating. Of course it is. All right. Let's go to Braunach, and we're going to redistrict this thing, and we're going to make it a lot more heavy in the commercial density districts, and then we're going to make it a medium density as well. So we're going to go for a 70-30 split like this. We're going to destroy a lot of small, low-density houses, so we're not going to hurt our real estate market too much, I hope. And we're going to open up the possibility of getting a lot more commercial building. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. I've done my own testing, and the residential demand sort of fluctuates as it always has. Sometimes it goes into the positive, sometimes it goes into the negative. It hovers kind of close to zero at almost any given time. At least that's what I've had to deal with thus far. But if we focus on it and really eke out as much commercial zoning as possible, does it solve the problem eventually? Maybe. It's just going to be a while. Which is frustrating, because I kind of like to see some immediate results to know that I'm on the right track and I'm not making things worse. Well, as far as I can tell, it doesn't make things worse, it just doesn't necessarily make things better. So, this is why we're going to test this stuff out. We're going to find out. In the meantime, we are building some more commercial stuff here in this district now. We have a lot of commercial demand, so you'd like to think that this means we're going to build a whole bunch of these buildings pretty quickly. We've got at least a couple coming in. It's sort of trickling, but it's happening. The other thing I'm going to do here is actually, let's check the traffic real quick. Okay, Darlington's starting to get a lot of traffic in there. I was about to upgrade another industrial district to high density, but we may want to consider the traffic of Darlington first. So let's go here. We can add in the tram line, which is 33,000 per month for 0.2 traffic points, which is pretty decent. The metro is better in the sense that it still costs about the same amount. In fact, exactly the same amount per month, but a lot more upfront and better traffic points. So metro is pretty good. It's just going to cost a ton of money. For now, let's go ahead and do the metro, I guess. I mean, it's going to cost a crap ton of money in Darlington, I know. Do we need that many traffic points? Probably not. But we don't need to sit on 189 million thalers either, so let's go ahead and get rid of it. Now, our RCI stuff, our residential stuff, is resetting. I'm not sure how much we can attribute this to the fact that we got more commercial demand. It probably will bounce up a little bit, then go back into the negative, and just kind of oscillate for a little bit. I just want to know what drives this. You know what I mean? It's not that we're not doing really well. I mean, think about it. We've got a crap ton of money. We have over 50,000 population, which is considered an achievement. We're almost done with Era 5 tech before the end of Era 4. I mean, we're performing really, really well in the game. I just want to optimize it and figure out every little mechanic because I like Urban Empire. I do think it's a pretty fun game, but there's a lot of unexplained aspects that I need to explore. And sometimes that means that my preconceptions have been wrong and you guys are right. Oh, that was state law already. That was quick. And maybe it means that you're wrong and don't know any more than I do. Maybe. The only way we're going to find out is by testing things. So we're going to try messing with the RCI and trying to meet the commercial demand for a little bit and see what it does. For example, we have a little bit of residential demand right now. Okay, great. We'll see if it goes anywhere. I don't think it's going to keep going up. I think it's going to stay here or go back to the negative. That's what I've seen so far, but we'll find out. The elites are burdened by taxes. I support it, but I don't think anyone's going to do it. And more people are going to vote for the moderate party, which actually isn't so bad because, well, we had a little bit of a crash thing going on there. Huge frame drop, what the heck. A little bit more votes for the moderate party isn't necessarily so bad for me because as long as the pacifists have not been very reliable thus far. Augmented reality is done. By the way, notice that residential went back into the negative. See? It just oscillates a lot. I don't know. I don't have a controlled environment to test the variables and find out what happens here. Alright, so augmented reality is done. Free city Wi-Fi. Filtering for the water treatment plants. Some other cool edicts and stuff. That's awesome. Let's take a look at this thing. Advances in computer and video technology brought us virtual worlds a while ago. Now the next step is augmenting reality with additional information or artificial elements. The city administration is currently pondering how that will affect city life in general. Where do you direct their focus? Free city Wi-Fi, which increases the city operating costs by 5%. Ouch. But gives some real life improvements for everybody. Support AR in, that's augmented reality, in education, which is just personal growth and increases the costs of schools a little bit. And healthcare for AR adoption. Now this, it says, would cost me 125,000 thalers. Would it cost me that much anyway later? I mean, this looks like a regular edict. Why spend this money if we can just pass it regularly later? Let's do AR in education, get more personal growth going on there. Augmented reality education, they're going to vote on this thing immediately. And then we'll have to move back to the progress cloud and get something else. By the way, I did find it amusing how excited people are that we finally went back to the Era 3 technology and finished those things off. I mean, I know I was joking about kind of messing with you guys and stuff. It really didn't matter that much to me. It just didn't seem like a very high priority, but it mattered to you guys, apparently, so, you know, there you go. Have fun. Smart growth is what we're going to research next. All right, let's go to the city council. Edicts. We are going to pass augmented surgery rooms. It doesn't say it would cost me 125 thalers up front, so I really don't understand why they were doing that to begin with, but okay. Whoops. I didn't mean to cancel that. Propose. Okay. Free city Wi-Fi. 5% is pretty expensive, and the Wheel of Life improvements I'm not sure we need right now, but we'll do it anyway. Cybersecurity for the public sector. Increases pretty much everything a little bit. We have a little bit of security. Okay. Electronic voting. Now this I'm excited about. Reducing the city costs by 10%. We lose a little security because, you know, votes could be hacked or something, but it's pretty good. 10% is a lot of money. Public municipal records, personal growth. Alright, fine. And you know what? I'm actually going to go back and I'm going to research the business accelerator. Because right now, if we actually are doing okay on employment with the lower and working class, then that means there aren't enough of these people to go around, which means maybe we're about to have a bunch of efficiency issues. So we'll give that a shot. I'm noticing, by the way, that unemployment has gone back down to 0% across the board now that we've built out all these businesses. So that's something. But now that unemployment is low again, we're having more jobs, residential demand is still 0. See, I mean, meeting the zoning demand makes some sense, but it doesn't have as much of an immediate impact as you might think. Now again, it may only be a matter of time, and we're going to keep experimenting with this and see what happens. We're gonna find out. It's just not as obvious as you would think. Yep, back down to 0. All right. So Darlington, how's your traffic looking? Probably pretty good, I would imagine. Yep, Edgeville is next on the list. New Habsburg, Fallon, Smithton, a lot of industrial stuff. Okay, let's go to Rainsford, and let's modify this, and we're going to make it a high-density district. It's going to cost me another $235,000 per month, and we don't even have very much industrial demand, but that might change. It might go up. Let's go ahead and propose some stuff. Again, like, if we're going to increase this running costs by another $200,000, there goes all my profit in this district. But as long as we have enough people to fulfill those jobs, eventually it will turn a profit. It just may not be immediate. So I don't know. Okay, so it looks like the taxes for the elites are going to stay high. Everyone is still pretty progressive. So that's going to be a thing. Apparently a lot of appeals going on right now. That might be one of the reasons that we're company unable to grow. Why not? That might be one of the reasons that the game is having so much trouble in the late game, is because the parties are appealing each other and it keeps doing some background processes that slow things down. So yeah, there's a lot of businesses here that apparently want to grow. Some of them have been able to grow, and others are unable. You see any more information here? Yeah, some companies that want to get larger, but they can't. Presumably because there's not enough space to go around. Well, I mean, if that's the case, then buy out your competitors, but this is a high-density textile factory, so I'm not inclined to delete it for you. I don't know, you're just going to have to live with it for now. Okay, there's a little bit of industrial demand going on. Good. Let's keep that nice and high. More medium density stuff coming in. Now, I like these mixed buildings because these give us some better businesses that hire more people, and they'll end up housing more people. So I like the mixed buildings typically. Because, I'll be honest, these commercial buildings are stupid as heck. Think about this for a second, right? We just bumped this thing up to medium density so we could get larger buildings for more businesses. Okay, this building, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 8 or 9 story building is a cafe that hires only 6 people. That's it, the entire building, 6 people, that's it. That's so stupid. It really is. So, you may make an entire district all medium density commercial, and if you had 100 people unemployed, you might get like half of them employed again. Actually, we're having some trouble here again. Look at that. So yeah, even though we built out so many much larger buildings, it's not going to mess with my employment too much because they only hire like 10 people each. That's dumb. As far as I'm concerned, it's really dumb. But oh well, let's go ahead and modify this district and get a little bit more high density going. Try to take advantage of whatever industrial demand that we have. Business accelerator, okay, more efficiency. It's going to cost us a little bit of money, but that's fine. Efficiency is going to be good for us. The worker. Oh, wow, we have a bunch of events that we haven't even noticed. The Social Democrats want to have a paper interview. That's fine. Thank you. High security. We want more people to be like this, and we are optimistic. Piracy. Pirating is common among the youths of Pravsburg, and the lobbyists of a copyright advocacy group demand the city starts a campaign. Campaign against piracy? Nah, it only benefit the huge corporations. You people can vote on it if you want, but I don't really care that much. Smart growth. The growing cities have for decades caused increasing numbers of problems, from pollution to traffic problems, from health issues to destruction of biodiversity to a decline in social capital and beyond. Smart growth principles are being developed to combat these. Which problems should your administration focus on? Health issues, biodiversity, and traffic congestion. I'm guessing that health issues will impact health. Biodiversity will impact the physical environment, and this might give us more traffic points, which is pretty good. Let's do that. Looks like it gave me 5% more traffic points everywhere, but it increases the cost of gravel. Gravel is more expensive for some reason. I don't know why, but specifically gravel is more expensive. Okay. Let's get a whole bunch of edicts passed. Public municipal records. Which does what? Costs us a little bit more for more personal growth. All right. Electronic voting. Now this one I'm excited about. Reducing 10% of the city's costs. That's pretty good. There we go. All right. Cybersecurity. Gets a bit more security to make up for the fact that we just reduced it with the electronic voting. There we go. Public Wi-Fi, or free city Wi-Fi. It's going to increase the cost of the city a fair bit, but we get some real-life improvements, which I'll talk about in a minute because I don't trust those. Augmented surgery rooms. Good. Better hospitals and health and stuff. Thank you. Okay, so here's why I don't trust this Wheel of Life thing. So it says the city happiness is 10, and that we have met everything and gone well beyond that. We provided everything we need on average. Great. So why is it then that if I go to the city data and look at this, it sure doesn't look like everyone's doing great? I mean, the working class and the middle class are doing great, but the poor still have like a 5 as their average. And 8s. I mean, 8s are good. 8s and 9s and 10s and stuff, but shouldn't it be better than this? Okay, I guess it's not actually that far-fetched. Considering that the working class and the middle class make up about 70% of the population, if they've all got 9s and 10s, then I guess it would make sense for the average to be pretty high. But the fact that these guys are still dragging them down, I don't know. I would expect it to be 9s across the board. So I don't know. Anything that improves for everybody, a couple of those different Wheel of Life improvements, it still could be pretty good for us. You never know. Look at that commercial demand. It's still super high. And I think it might be tied into the fact that we still have so much unemployment. So, okay. Let's go to, Olrington. Modify you. Medium density. More commercial. And this time we're going to go for like an 80-20 split. Lots of commercial only along the main highway. It's going to delete a lot of small density homes, but we're going to give it a shot anyway. Confirm, propose, quicken vote. Done. Now, if we move a lot of these people out, I don't know if they leave the city permanently, or if they're just sort of displaced, and as a result, demand for residential stuff goes up temporarily while we build a couple new apartment complexes to make up for the displaced people. I'm not sure if that's how it works or not. Maybe, maybe not. Still building out more medium density stuff. I mean, at the very least, we're going to have a fully medium density city. What surprises me here is we have a high density district with almost maxed out commercial demand, and still not a single skyscraper has been built. Doesn't that alone tell you that maybe just changing up density and zoning doesn't solve the problem with the RCI? I don't know. It doesn't make me feel better about it. I don't know the answer. Now, for all I know, though, What if skyscrapers are something you can only do once you hit Area 5? What if before that, it's not possible? Maybe. It also could have something to do with the fact that here in Smithmere, there are some businesses that want to upgrade but can't. I just saw the arrows. They've gone away. What's this? Low efficiency? No, this says fine efficiency. What are you talking about? This is a residential building. I don't know. I saw the icon here. What's having trouble here? This mixed building. It says it has very low something. Huh. But the efficiency and stuff is fine. It's fully employed. Everyone's here. Is this employment? Ah, unemployment is high in this building. A lot of people here don't have a job. Gotcha. Okay. I mean, we could look at something like Kilbro and try to shift up a little bit more commercial here. Try and get some more jobs close to where the people live. Maybe. I mean, I'm not opposed to trying it. We'll give it a shot in a minute. Smart growth is done. Automated metro, automated buses, smart services, which is a edict that reduces operating costs. Good. Social media, service efficiency, video games industry. All citizens get a social life bonus. Virtual conferences. These are pretty good. Oh my gosh, a whole bunch of things that straight up increase my money. Grab. Social media is amazing. First time I've ever said that in my life, probably. I'm not really a big fan of social media personally. I don't think it increases our social life much at all. I think it makes relationships a bit more shallow, personally. But you know what? I don't really like that stuff. So that's kind of my own bias projecting upon other people, perhaps. I don't know. Campaign against piracy. Looks like it's going to lose pretty resoundingly. Which is fine. It's not my goal. I didn't try to pass it. Someone else brought that up. Kilbro, let's talk to you for a second. Game, stop crashing. Modify. Let's get a little more commercial. Confirm, propose, use personal funds so it's instant. Can you build any more commercial buildings in this area? It doesn't appear that you can. Huh. Alright, well, we're building some more medium density stuff here in Olrington. Businesses only, more jobs. Hopefully for the elites in the middle class specifically. More industry would not do well for us right now because we have no unemployment with the working in the lower class. That means we don't have enough of either of those. Now, if I were to delete... Now, here's an interesting thought. What if I deleted Smithton as an industrial district and replaced it with a commercial one to meet the demand? And in the meantime, all these lower class and working class people who had industrial jobs lose these and then go to a new high-density stuff over here. Would that work? Would that be a good way of shifting up the labor? I have no idea. How's the money looking? Not really making any profit to speak of here, and a lot of it has to do with really low efficiency. Eek, that sucks. Oh, we never did upgrade the water treatment plant. Let's do that right now. Upgrade. And we get more health, it looks like. More health and physical environments. All right. It's not amazing, it's not the end of the world, but alright. Tax proposal. The students are burdened. Yeah, we'll lower the taxes a little bit on them. Green Party gets a little bit more favor with them. It's fine. Teensy bit of residential demand, but it's not going anywhere. And it's gone. See what I mean? It just doesn't stay. And commercial demand is still quite high. I really am willing to believe that it is tied directly into the unemployment. I'm very willing to believe that. The people are there, they need jobs, therefore demand is high. I can totally believe it. It just seems like even though we are redistricting a fair bit, we still can't meet that demand. Which is frustrating. If I was able to get high-density stuff, then maybe that would solve the problem, but no one wants to build high-density. So I'm not sure. Social media. Our old address books are enjoying a renaissance in digital format as people connect via news services to share news about their lives. So-called social media has become one of the most common places for people to spend their time. This shift in people's behavior is so remarkable that city authorities are considering how the city should react. Teachers and public workers should avoid social media. They should be present or promote virtual environments. I have no idea what this does. Be present, I guess? Running cost of all municipal services goes down by 1. 1 level, apparently, I guess, and social life goes up for the city. Okay, sure, I guess that makes sense. Mayor elections closing in. Means we're gonna have to go to a vote again pretty soon. Yay. Thrilled about that. I think we have a couple more edicts that we haven't passed yet. Let's go to that. Smart services. Reduce the costs. Do we care about any other stuff here? Not really. Free metro, making the metro more expensive, but everyone has more money to work with. Punch card, but no one will vote for it. Conductor ticket sales, no one will vote for this either. Sales demand for all industrial companies. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Sales demand minus 10%? Am I being stupid right now? Am I just tired? Sales demand minus 10%. That lowers the demand for all industrial companies. That doesn't make sense. CO2 reduction measures, extra regulations, maybe even the carbon tax, means that businesses need more money in order to survive because they're paying more upfront costs to meet those regulations. But this is saying sales demand goes down by 10%. Pass it. It doesn't make sense. But alright. Anything else we really care about right now? An industry safety net? Costs me a little bit of money. Protects a bunch of older industries. Safe houses for abused women. Industrial fire. Sales demand goes up. See, this makes sense. In order to meet these regulations, companies need to have 5% more sales. Now, why does this say industrial with its own special symbol instead of all industrial industry or companies like other symbols? There are times when I really want this game to succeed, but I'm just like, these are some sloppy choices. I don't get it. Sometimes I really just don't. And I don't think that it's because I'm dumb. I really don't. Whatever, we lose a little bit of money from some students. There aren't a ton of those to begin with anyway. How are we doing on students? 4,000. We could try to get some more if we want more mobility, but right now, I don't know, we still don't have enough jobs. Now, why aren't you building out more here in Olrington? Is there some sort of, service you don't have that you want? Okay, maybe it's a traffic thing. Let's take a look. No. I don't know why they're not growing. We've got very high commercial demand and plenty of space to do it. They're only building one little building here right now. That's it. You should be getting a heck of a lot more than that. Whatever, man. Whatever, man. I don't pretend that it all makes sense to me. Not in my backyard. The consequences aren't that bad. Shut up. Wellage, modify, medium. More commercial only. We need to fix this employment issue. Only then shall we get more residential. I don't know. I don't know. And once again, I'm losing a lot of frames here, by the way. This game is having some serious performance issues the closer we get to the end. Whoop! There's social media. Virtual conferences, free-to-play social media, blah, blah, blah. City services on social media, digital currency taxing. Progress cloud. Let's go for institution upgrades first, I think. Let's grab fabrications next. Research that. Modify the district. Let's get a little bit more. Commercial demand, I should say. Commercial zoning. Okay, city council, edicts. We have digital currency taxing. Sales demand for several different types of industries goes up, but the cost of the city goes down by 5%, but nobody's in favor of it. Why? City services on social media, their running costs goes up. Why? What does this mean? Change in monthly city fund expenditures. So the city costs 3% more, and this seems to imply that running costs of the city goes up by 2 or 2 what? 2 levels? Does that mean it's more efficient or less efficient? It says it would make it more efficient. Improves quality at the expense of higher running costs. Maybe this is a level thing, and the higher the level, the better off it's going to be? I don't know. Propose it anyway, we'll test with it. Virtual conferences. The city becomes cheaper to operate by 0.03. 0.03 what? Do you see what I mean about the communication skills of this game sometimes? Why do they change their units and their icons randomly? I know that I'm whining. I get it. Again, it's not because I'm not okay at this game. Look at what we've done. We're fine, but I want it to be better and I want it to make sense. I want to optimize, you know? And I feel like this game is bucking me at every freaking turn. Look at this. It says right here, levies sales penalty on several business areas. That makes sense. Compliance with regulations should cost businesses more money, and yet, demand minus 10%, which means they demand less money in order to operate. If it were plus 10%, I would understand it. Smart services. I don't know, guys. Getting frustrated. Next video, we probably will hit 1990, which means we will go to Era 5. Which will be great. Maybe in Era 5, we get like a boost to skyscraper production or something. I don't know. Something to take advantage of this, but even with all the jobs I'm trying to build out, and the commercial demand is going down, residential demand is still low. And unemployment's going down again. So this doesn't fix the residential demand issue. It doesn't seem to. There's one more puzzle piece I'm missing. I'm sure that there is one more really important puzzle piece. It's probably obvious to someone, but it's not been obvious to me thus far. I've got social mobility. The classes are becoming a little bit better. Not as good as they probably ought to be, but more even. We're making plenty of money. Wheel of Life is maxed out. Demand, we are trying to meet it, but it's not solving our problem. So I don't know. I'll keep paying attention to the comment section, but at this point, I feel like I have to do another few hours of testing and try to figure this out, and that's going to be fun. Whatever. We'll get to it later. Thank you all very much for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed this video anyway. Leave a comment with your suggestions, subscribe if you haven't already, and I, as always, will see you guys next time in Pravsburg. Bye-bye.